You have to know what I need and that I'm not a street girl from Sosua. How many of y'all heard something like that? Rico.toro. Que la que hay, mi gente. Stay tuned. So, let me say this. It's like May 3rd, May 4th now, my older sister's birthday. Thanks to God, she made another year. So, May 1st, 2020, so a couple days and a year ago, I posted my first video with actually really doing YouTube. So, just over a year. And I'm slightly this much disappointed in myself that I didn't make 1,000 subscribers, get monetized by this May 1st. But you know what? The party continues. So, I thought today, let's kind of do a little bit of in review. Because some of my videos were quite long, me just talking a lot. I'm sure like most people, even admittedly, when I watch other people's videos, we gotta scroll through sometimes. We don't want to watch the whole thing. We look for the highlights. So I'm gonna sort of basically go through some of my own highlights. I'm trying not to curse because I'm soon gonna be in review for monetization. So I'm gonna go through my own highlights a little bit. I can do this just from memory, like I do most of the time. Bad vision, good memory. Salud. You know what? That's not even my glass. It's really not. That's somebody with long legs that could drink rum straight up. I'm 5'9" on a good day and not with long legs. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna drink this water, rehydrate a little bit. So here's the thing. Actually gonna just capitalize a little bit on my world, as well as give y'all some year in review stuff. I'm actually today on the just square tip, gave some relationship advice. A friend of mine in New York, his wife, he met in Mexico, up in the hills, up in the mountains, real solid woman. They have their first child, just over a year old recently. She's got her stuff together in Mexico, owns a bakery, doing well, close to his age, so just regular stuff, right? So he was there a couple of months during recently, during the son's birthday. Now they're in Mexico. They're in New York. They were in Mexico, now they're in New York. So yeah. And he's up in kind of a small high-rise apartment, small for 2 or 3 people. So they're there, and he's today had to be her birthday, and they got an argument, and she, and he said he was out a while. When he came home, her and his son was gone, blah, blah, blah. He texts her. She says, we're good. I'm fine. And he's telling me this, right? My response, bro, she says, you're fine. Just wait till she comes home and match her temperature. A lot of people don't know how to match people's temperature. He suffers from a little anxiety. So I said basically she'll come there eventually, home eventually. And if she's quiet, just give her a hug or something if you can. Just like match her temperature. Let things go away. Don't ask her no questions. Something I learned from my ex-wife. Don't ask her nothing. Just like let her decompress. When a woman needs her time, her moment, her space, that's what you gotta do. My ex-wife actually, she was a little shady. I think his wife is a lot more legit, a lot better character from what I understand. So my ex-wife though turned out to be pretty shady, but I remember my ex-wife told me like one day, like over something, I didn't like or whatever going on. She said, don't be asking me a lot of questions. I used to use that in every relationship I've been in since. When a chick flies off the handle or when I know I'm wrong, usually, I'm like, don't ask me no questions. Or here, no preguntas, cállate, no pregunta. Yeah. So, sure enough, he's like, where you been? That's my son too. Lo sé, yo caso explaining todo. He's got like that sort of like attitude or whatever. And he says, okay, well, I'm just going to leave too. And then he's telling me this. And he's like, well, I decided, she thinks I'm just like being angry and leaving, but I'm going to go buy her a birthday cake or whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, I hope the cake smooth things over. But you a petty ass clown. You're a petty ass clown, basically, like, with all that, like before that. Oh, you left, so I'm going to leave too. So today's advice, don't be petty. Don't be petty. I'm like this. I'm like, unless it's a lesbian couple, there can't be two women in the household. One person has to be the solid, strong voice of reason and logic. And that's usually not the woman. So somebody's got to be the man, the damn man. That was my thing with him. And I said, bro, you think I might be being harsh on you, but I'm telling you as a friend, it's a little tough love. I wish like when I was married and in some relationships, some true friends of mine would have gave me a little more tough love. As we get older, we learn to see things like that and appreciate things like that. So now I'm going to go into the other side of often things here in this world here. So, friend of mine in 1 minute, he's telling me like, he tried to take a page from Bo Rake's book. Shout out to Bo. Never did nothing wrong to me, always been respectable and cool to me. So I got nothing but respect for him. So he said, he was online, chippity, chappity, swipity, diapity, some girl, and he thought he found like a little Campo princess in Monte Cristo or somewhere like an hour away from him, he said. And so they get into a little conversation or whatever, and he asks her, well, is this personal or business? And she's like, well, it's personal, but, I do have a child, blah, 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 rent, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, all right, whatever, that's cool. So they go a little more back and forth. And, he's kind of like, taller than me, but not tall, but average height, fairly slim brother. And so she's asking him, like, how big are you? Right? And he's like, well, you see my picture. You see I'm no fat ass dude. And she's like, no, but... So she's trying to determine, basically, will he like shift a kidney or split her in half or something? And he's like, I don't even know how to answer that, like, like I say, I address things like that, basically like, well, I'm not King Kong, but I don't get no complaints. So, so she's determining, like, she's trying to build a case, like, does she want to see this dude or whatever, whatever. And then after a little more back and forth, she's like, well, I'm actually pregnant now, and I can't come to you, but you can come to me. He's like, I got a big 2-bedroom, Puerto Plata, pool, blah blah blah. I don't know if he got a pool really. I can't remember. But anyways, it's like, why am I gonna come to you and blah blah? And she's like, well, I can't just up and leave. I got a child. I'm pregnant now, whatever. You can just stay in a hotel. And I'm like, really? Really? The audacity to say you just come stay in a hotel, and she's holding one and already has another, and gonna be looking for some sort of benefits, and you haven't met her in person. This goes back to some of the thing I said the other day in my like real straight game stuff is like, you can't jump, don't be willing to jump through too many hoops for anybody you haven't met in person. I'm just saying, like unless you had a reason to travel and visit and curious about her town, I'm just saying, don't do all that for a woman. So, a little review stuff. I'm gonna tell you the crazy stuff. All right. I don't even know if this made it in. All right. So like in the pregnancy allegation, right? It was one of those like, I'm like, mommy, this sonogram report basically says, I did ricotorodrpr, the mathematics, the calculations. Like, I'm like, you were 5 weeks pregnant before we even met. My passport stamped. I rolled back the clock, the time. Her response: "Tú no eres Dios, tú no sabes nada." For those that don't know, she said, "You're not God. You don't know anything." I'm like, ooh, okay. God can manipulate, with all due respect. God can manipulate like the science and the dates, the technology of the sonogram report. Okay, all right, okay, I gave you that one. And then I also said in that video, there was a weird point where on my watch, after the first time I saw her after she came at me when she was pregnant, because I wasn't living here. I had just arrived on vacation, and she had told me the night before I was arriving, coincidentally. So she wasn't feeling so great, was like about to pass out or whatever. So I said, okay, you know what? At this point, I didn't really know exactly what was going on. That was before I kind of figured out the math. So I'm like, I can't have this girl messed up on my watch, so let's go to the clinic. Let's go to the hospital. So we're in the emergency room. And that's when, I guarantee, I'll cash app you like $100 now, basically, if you've been in this position. Otherwise, you might want to cash app me 2 for this, or 5 for this interesting story, if you missed it before. So, the hospital, the doctor, they do some checks, ask some questions. And sure enough, almost 7 months pregnant, we've known each other 5-ish. So, okay. But anyways, all of a sudden they asked her for a urine sample. So, next thing I know, I'm in the baño, in the bathroom. She's peeing in a cup while I'm standing there holding the IV bag up in the air. God is my witness. Position I never thought I would be in. And at that time I was like, Why did I try to come and stay long term? Why did I take a gamble with this one? Why didn't I just do like short trips, protect myself at all times, blah, blah, blah. So, any of y'all been in that exact position? In that bathroom while they squatting on the toilet and you're holding an IV bag above them and they're pregnant with somebody else's? See? Well, I'm exposing myself or not, or just being completely real. I'd really be curious to know. I would pay money if somebody else been in that exact moment. So another one. Many of y'all know my off and on drama with the Amiga. Well, the Amiga, like I say, I've seen the dark side. I've seen the posting up at Bailey's, posting up at Roma Envy, posting up looking super fly, Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Well, not Instagram, I don't have an account. I've seen all that. But I've also seen the like, I'm tired of the life and hate the life. And today was a really terrible day, you know, after the fact, emotional meltdowns because of Amiga. Granted, she's like really kind of like over the top kind of anyways, I think. But heart of gold on a good day, but on a bad day, oof. So, I mean, I kept her around for so long because she was the heart of the gold part. But that 10, 15%, that switch goes off and it's like all hell breaks loose. So, one morning, she's calling me. I'm missing calls a couple hours before I get up early, get up for work. I get up at like 9 to start work at 9. I'm seeing she tried calling like 7 a.m. Very unusual for her. So I finally like hit her back, see what's up. And she's crying profusely. I'm like, just come over. And by this time, I'm like a few minutes short of going into my weekly team meeting for work. You know, and I always try to keep my meetings, keep my work stuff very on schedule, very professional, not miss any, you know, important calls or scheduled things. So I let her in and she's going bananas. Like, I couldn't understand. You know, it's like the high level emotion and the crying, she could have been speaking Japanese. And that's about how difficult her Spanish is, especially when she's high level of emotion. And so I handed her a remote control, push her in the bedroom, and say, I'm going to check on you in a little bit, because I had to take my weekly team call. So I check on her after the call. She's sleeping peacefully like a baby. I'm like, ooh, finally. This is about to wear off. Whatever's going on. So I noticed that her hair looked different. It's wet. So all right, she took a shower. And before I even could, it's like she got up and was looking in the mirror, and then I looked and I saw her weave hanging on a towel rack in the bathroom by the shower. And she's like showing me, this is me. She's using her government name. That's so-and-so, her street name. I don't want to be so-and-so anymore. I want to be me. I don't want that life. I want to be this life, or whatever. Like, all right, whatever, look. Just chill. We'll just relax. I'll work today. You'll relax. We'll order some food. Blah, blah, blah. And so she's like, all right, cool. So she chills. The day goes by, whatever. We have a drink or two. And then in the evening, it's pouring rain. So she basically, with nothing on but a thong, she goes out and leans over the balcony in the pouring rain, and she kind of dragged me out there too. And I'm like, what are you doing? What's going on? And she's like going like this, reaching over for the rain, trying to splash it on us. Like these are God's blessings. This is holy water. This is whatever. So, again, I'll cash app you if you've been in that exact situation. So that's just some of the highlights, y'all. Just recapping a little bit. So I don't want to make this too long. So hit that subscribe if you have not already. You know, when I hit 1,000, pay attention. Whoever is that 1,000th, I don't want to say this, but if I'm at 999 and then later I get an email alert saying somebody was 1,000th, says they subscribed, I'm gonna assume they're the 1,000th guy or whatever. I'm gonna treat him to a drink. So hit that subscribe. Show your love. Like, share. Rico Toro. Yeah.